example of how you can use the ideas of my father Walter Schauberger. He designed a hyperbolic cone, and you can leak water through it. And you see it's spiraling down, and the structure of the water changes. And also you have a much bigger area where water and air can meet. The surface is much bigger through this vortex, and that helps in ponds, for example, to get rid of algae or other things. Yeah. So in physics, if you move particles, they create a field, and when you, for example, let water molecules, they are diapers, run through a vortex, so they are like a dynamo, and so they create a field, and this field also interacts with the molecules. So you have building up some kind of changing of structure of the water, and so what the water that comes in may be different to the water that comes out of the fountain. There is ongoing scientific research done on vortices. For example, at the University of Bodenkultur in Vienna, the Life Science University or Technical University in Graz, and especially at the Water Institute in the Netherlands, at Betzus in Leeuwarden, and they do scientific research on vortices and on the structure of water, and every day they find new things that they didn't expect.
So, for example, my big question is, can it purify the water? Because the water tastes much better after.
Let's go to the next
Okay,
session.
Thank you.
One very interesting thing about water is that H2O is oxygen and hydrogen. Hydrogen you use, for example, to drive a car, you can burn it. Oxygen you need to have a flame that something burns, and when you put them together, they are liquid, and you can distinguish fire with it. It's only two elements that do three different things. Why is it so difficult to be a water scientist? As my father Walter Schauberger said, nature doesn't repeat itself. And you will never find a water drop that is identically to another water drop. So if you see snow crystals, for example, the research of Mr. Bentley, Mr. Snowflake, 100 years ago, he found out that even Johannes Kepler already knew that there is no snow crystal identical to another snow crystal. Every snow crystal looks different. So if we take, for example, the research of Dr. Masaru Emoto, people said, hey, they all look different, your crystals. Yeah, that's right, because the basic of a snow crystal or ice crystal is a water drop. And every water drop is different. So there can't be identical crystals in ice or in snow. So that means that the scientists say, oh, you can't repeat your experiment. It has all the time a different result. So you are not a scientist. But nature is no scientist too, but it creates wonderful crystals. Okay, I want to show you an experiment. The inventor who made this apparatus is Felix Hediger from Germany, from the German Association for Implosion Research. He created this item, this device to show the so-called Albert Einstein tea-leaf paradoxon. Or in German we say Teeblätter paradoxon. It means if you have tea leaves, give it into a pot, pour hot water on it, you stir, what happens to the tea leaves? Where do they go to? First they go in circles and then they go to the ground into the center. And here we see that someone already stirred, and you see all the sand is in the middle. And if I start and make a little, let's say, sandstorm in the water, you'll see what happens to the solid parts. And when you film here, you can see what is happening on the bottom. This is the mirror that shows what happens. And now we see a thunderstorm with the eye in the center, the eye of the hurricane.
Amazing.
And you will see how this vortex creates structures, little dunes here on the periphery.
Yeah.
Up here you can, maybe you can film them here.
Yes.
Here you see all the little dunes. They do wander a little, but still stay on the same place.
Yes.
And it's like big waves in the sea. They come and go, they come and go. Very strong waves. But if you walk into the sea, the sand has tiny, tiny little structures. You can feel it. The little ripples when you go into the sea. And you wonder, how can this happen, although the waves were that huge and that powerful? But they create a very subtle form of sand.
Yes.
They create
And
wonderful things.
And that's simply just by the laws of nature.
Right.
And that's, is that the spiral?
This is not the Schauberger device.
No?
Because it's a cylinder cut in a right angle. But I can show you what happens if you take a look here.
Yes.
When I stop, the matter goes into the center. And this is how with Schauberger devices you make clean water, filter water without filter.
I see. You know, I'm so grateful for seeing this. I'm almost like...
And you asked for examples, what can people do at home?
Yes.
If you have, for example, a little pool for the children, a round pool, and there is insects or leaves or whatever in the pool, and you want to fish them out, you take them out, and you take a so-called catcher, you try to catch them. You just run 2 or 3 rounds in the pool, and all the stuff goes to the center, and you can put it out.
Amazing.
For example.
When you say run, I'm thinking about me running around, but you have something to turn it around with, no?
You just run around.
Run? Simply.
Goes and the water makes a circle.
Thank you so much, Jörg.
Your water is my water. Our water is their water. Her water and he. is the eternal water.